Hey everybody, good morning. It's about 7 in the morning as I'm getting in the car, getting ready to head out for a popper challenge today. So we're going to go ahead and put a $2 popper up against a $10 popper and see if we notice any difference in the performance and the results. So this ought to be interesting. I'm looking forward to it, and thanks for your votes to make that happen. All right, before I get into the actual day out on the water, I wanted to go over some guidelines on how I score this. So I'm not looking at just how many fish are caught. I'm looking at cost. We already know which one leads on the cost there in this challenge. I also look at the castability, the finesse capability, and also how it works in the water, its presentation. So there's a lot of different factors going into this lure challenge, and let's get back to the lake. All right, everybody, so we made it out to the lake. Today is the popper challenge. We've got the $10 Hula Popper versus the $1.50 popper from Walmart. We'll see how they each perform and see what we can get. We're out at Lake Illinois at Table Rock State Park in upstate of South Carolina, and let's hit the water. All right, so we are out here for Hula Popper challenge. $10 Hula Popper versus an Ozark Trail $2 popper. And this is what you all voted that you wanted me to do. So we're going to try them all out. I'm using them on similar lines, similar poles and reels. And we'll just go ahead and see if we can't get some kind of insight on which one will work better. Right, so I'm already noticing that the Ozark Trail, while it's a popper, it also has a little bit of like a Zara puppy kind of movement to it. It's kind of walking the dog a little bit side to side, which is kind of cool. I'm getting out here a little bit later than I would have liked to. Boat ramp was kind of clogged up. So it's got a nice little skip to it as well. The Ozark Trail. Been able to bounce it into a couple of spots. That's cool. So we've had a lot of rain lately, and we've had our first cooling snap of the summer in a while. It's been up near 90 and stuff, and finally dropped down into the 60s and 70s. So it'll be interesting to see if that affects the bite. All right, time to switch. All right, time for the Hula Popper. Definitely more disruptive on the water. Bigger bubble pop. I tell you, so far I really like how the Ozark Trail Popper kind of has a Zara puppy kind of motion to it. I can walk the dog. It's also skipping pretty good. And get it up tighter into those little spots, little pockets. Alright, let's change location a little bit here. Alright, that's already helpful. Water temperature 77 degrees. Sitting in about 11 feet of water. Alright. So of course I've never had the depth finder out here before, so this is the first time I'm seeing the bottom and knowing the water temperature precisely. But there's an edge along over here where I assumed it was closer to deep water than some of the other parts, and I've always had some good luck there, so I think I'm going to go ahead and hit the shoreline in the shallows first and then hit where that drop-off bank is, see if we can't find any there. Yeah, so I'm paddling along here and kind of checking out these shallows, scouting for a different time that I might be here, and I saw some monster carp. I mean monster carp. I'm not much of a carp fisherman, but for those that might be, some big ones in here. You can see how close I am, but it's dropped to 8-9 feet this close to the shore. I'm fishing topwater in the summer and during the day. If it's not the morning bite, this is definitely where I want to be. I think the conditions just aren't good so far today for the topwater bite. Would have been better doing some finesse and dropping some plastics or something, but I am out here on a topwater challenge, so might as well make the most of it and just tell you how I do it. I don't know, maybe there's a better way to do it. You can leave a comment below or something, but it's just the way that I've always done it, and I usually have some pretty good success with Zara puppies and Zara spooks. And this popper, the way it's working back in is reminding me of that, so it's pretty cool. But yet it's got the pop action on the front end of it, like you have with the other popper. So let me switch to the other one, tell you the way I work the Hula Popper. So with the Hula Popper, you know, pretty standard. Most everybody uses them. It's got the big front frog. I've got the frog pattern here. And this one, I give it a little bit more of an arch. Instead of like the other one where I'm slinging it side, I give this one a little bit more arch to where it plops down in the water, kind of like a frog jumping in from the shore or something. And then I just give it just little forward hops. Think of a frog kind of swimming through the water, how it does with its legs, where it thrusts, then stops, thrusts and stops. And that's the way that I work a Hula Popper in. And like I said, I've caught some big bass on Hula Poppers over the years. It's a really good bait. And because of that, I'm having trouble deciding which one I like better in this challenge today. I think it's going to come down to which one I end up catching fish on today. And I might have to wait for the temperatures to go up a little bit, but I'm going to keep pressing on. And as tempting as it is to fish a little deeper water and go where I think the bass are, I'm just going to keep plugging away. Get it? Plugging away. Topwater plugs. And see if we can't convince something to come up. See right there, I tried to skip that Hula Popper. I gave it a direct ricochet shot and it just stopped dead where it hit. I think that's been my biggest surprise with this lure challenge, is how differently I can get them up under the cover. Let me throw the other popper right in the same spot. See how easily that just skipped right up in there? Yep, so shut off the cameras to charge them, and then look what I get. Of course, it never fails. And it was on the popper, not the Hula Popper, but got it on the other one. So we'll get these cameras back on and see if we can't continue to catch these things. We'll let it go. Let this poor little guy go. Thank you very much. Alright, snack time. Can't go wrong with chocolate chip cookies. Alright, let's get after these bass. Alright, so far, this Ozark Trail Popper's ahead, 1-0. I can't believe I didn't have the camera on. I was recharging the cameras when it hit, because it was an epic blow up. Just figures I didn't have either camera on at the time. But maybe we'll get another chance at another one. I was really hopeful that as the temperature started to go up and the sun hit the water a little bit more, we'd start seeing a little bit more action on this topwater challenge. And while it's only one fish, at least it broke the ice. And hopefully it's a sign of what's to come over the next stretch of time here. All right, time to switch to the popper. Hula Popper. All right, Hula Popper, start earning your keep, man. Cost 4 or 5 times what the other one does. You better catch a fish. Now, I wonder, which would you guys prefer? Would you rather catch a bunch of fish on top, or would you want to catch maybe 1 or 2 but have them be really big ones? Leave me a comment below what your preference is when you're fishing topwater. Do you want quantity or do you want quality? Because my experience has been with the Hula Popper, my old New England accent coming out, with the Hula Popper, it's about quality. You're not going to get as many fish, but you usually get bigger fish. Wind is starting to pick up a little bit, moving the canoe around. Tell you folks that fish in bass boats and everything, I can't imagine what it's like to have that kind of control with the trolling motor and getting where you want to go quick. Don't have any of that with a canoe, but you know, there's a lot of benefit to having a canoe to fish from as well. You can get stealthy, get right up on top of stuff without it knowing I'm coming. I can usually get into waters that other boats can't get into as well. Alright, as I've stated several times, the Ozark Trail one skips pretty good. And I've got a spot coming up here that a skip cast is going to be essential. Like that. All right, I'm going to go ahead and cross the lake here. I see a cove that's in the shade and it's got a log falling down across it. And I'm going to cool off for a little while and try not to take some casts so I don't end up catching another fish when the cameras are off. So check back in a few minutes. The view here at Lake Illinois is just absolutely gorgeous. It's nice there's no motors on here either. Nice and quiet. Other than the cicadas. A little bit of a drop off there, and there are fish in here. Just trying to get them on top is the trick. Goodness gracious. Maybe I should be fishing this different. Just come back here on a day to not do a topwater challenge. There are plenty of fish down there. Alright guys, I found a nice little shady cove here. It is time for me to take a little break, cool off, and charge up the cameras a little bit. They were overheating a little too, so far it's hard to find in the bite, man. The conditions just aren't good for a topwater challenge, but I'm bound and determined to keep pressing on. So far, the $2 popper is beating out both in presentation, skipping, and fish catching too. So we'll continue on, see what the second half brings after I take a little lunch break. Had a nice melted protein bar that was covered in chocolate goo, a bagel, and a Diet Coke. Time to get back at the Topwater Challenge with the Hula Popper versus the Ozark Trail. I think that's what it's called, popper. Anyway, $2 versus $10 popper. Here we go. I don't know if I'm close enough to pick up on it, but man, Table Rock State Park is absolutely beautiful. If you ever get a chance to come down here and fish it, it is, or up here, depending where you're at, but it is beautiful. And getting to see that rock face and that bald up there, getting into the clouds while you're fishing, never get tired of it. All right, let's get back to the challenge here. All right, time for the second half of the day. So far, we've got the $2 popper is beating the $10 popper. And as far as presentation, I like the $2 popper better too, as far as being able to skip it up under trees, as far as being able to walk the dog, if you were, instead of just plain old popping it. But then again, the popper definitely has the advantage of the fact that I've caught a lot of big fish on the popper over the years, the Hula Popper. So we'll turn around. We're going to start heading back. The wind has just shifted, as right on schedule, as it should, right at midday, and that's going to be at our back to take us back toward the boat launch, fish the opposite side of the lake where the wind is hitting the shoreline, and see if we have any better luck on the way back. The temperature has definitely climbed, and maybe the shade of the shoreline will attract a few more fish. We'll see on the way back. Remember earlier on the depth finder, when I was in 10 or 12 feet of water, there were fish sitting and bait fish sitting at 4 to 7 feet, and now they're all gone. So this is where I believe they have all gone. So always got to adjust as the day goes on. If you're new to fishing, keep that in mind. All right, let's get fishing. When I'm fishing poppers and stuff, or topwater in general, if I don't get a hit in the first 6 or 7 seconds, when it first gets to the shoreline, I just go ahead and pull it back in and recast it. Very rarely is a fish going to come after it after it's already left the first few feet of the shoreline. And it's so far and few between that happens that I'd rather go ahead and continue my presentation in another spot. The exception to that rule is if I'm following some fallen timber out over the little bit deeper water, then I'll keep on working it. Had one barely hit at it. Saw him too. Little bass. That's a good sign though. You learn something from every hit you get. No matter how small the hit. Oh, dang it. I looked away for just a second to look at the depth finder, see where I was on the drop off. And it hit it right when I turned away. Looked my eyes away for a second. That's all it takes. But again, it's a good sign. As I was saying and as I was hoping, with the temperature increasing today and the sun hitting the water, these fish can look for cover up here in all this brush. And I'm right along a drop off too. It drops, you see how close I am to the shore. It drops down to like 7 feet right on the other side of the canoe from where I'm at right here. So that's good. They're sitting right over that drop off just like they should. I want to point out the last 2 hits have also come on the $2 popper. Go ahead and throw the Hula Popper again. Do I dare? Should I? Yes? No? Give it a try? All right. Shouldn't have tried. Ah, dang it. Well, it never fails. I went ahead and shut off the cameras just for a few minutes to go ahead and charge them, because keeping a charge with GoPros and stuff is always a challenge when out doing these things. And we have a winner. So I got this bass throughout this the popper, the one I've been saying I like the movement on and everything. And I'll be, if the thing didn't just like blow it up the second. Oh, calm down, calm down. So I thought the camera was on. I've had 2 more hits and the camera wasn't on for them. So I'm having bad luck with it. But each of the hits I'm getting and each of the fish I've caught today have all been on the $2 popper. So I mean, there's still time. Things could change, but right now it's kind of a one-sided contest. Now I got these 2 fighting. Battle of the lures is real. All right, boys. No need for this behavior. All right. hooking this one up to the rod. Just wasn't your day, Hula Popper. Maybe next time. Just look at that. Beautiful. Whoops. See, I got distracted. Ah, I missed him. Dang it. I knew there was a fish sitting there too. Well, hands down, this $2 lure is eating them up today compared to the Hula Popper. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and declare the $2 popper to be today's victor in the presentation, the maneuverability, the finesse, and the most important thing, it caught fish and it got a lot more hits. Despite the conditions being really unfavorable for topwater fishing, we were able to get some fish to hit this, and so, you know, there you go. I never know going into something like this what it's going to be. I have caught a lot of big fish on the Hula Popper in my past, and today it just wasn't its day. So here you go, your victor for today.
All right, y'all, that's going to do it for me. One camera's already overheated. The other one's probably going to go soon. It's getting really hot out here, as you can tell by how sweaty I am. But it was a fun day to be out here, and I appreciate you coming along. Thanks.
All right, so there you have it. That challenge is done. If you have a recommendation or a request for another lure challenge, just go ahead and leave a comment down below, and we'll see about getting to it for you. And so there you go. These lures are now yours, James Vincent. He was one of the people that correctly predicted the outcome of this challenge. And so just hit me up with a mailing address, James, and these lures that I used out on the lake are yours. We'll get them in the mail to you. Please be sure to like, follow, and subscribe, and hit the notification buttons too so you don't miss any of the videos that we put out. And appreciate you tuning in. Thanks.